Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am beyond honored to stand before you today. You know, it's not every day that I get to speak to a crowd this large, a crowd filled with dreamers, doers, and believers. Whether you're sitting on your couch, driving in your car, or secretly watching this at work while your boss isn't looking, I want to thank you for showing up. Showing up, my friends, is the first step toward greatness. And today, I want to talk to you about something that could change your life, forever spending time to make yourself better. Now, don't roll your eyes just yet. I promise this isn't one of those dry, overly complicated self-help lectures. No, we're going to laugh, reflect, and most importantly, learn. Because here's the truth. Life gets better when you get better. Let me start with a quick exercise. I want you to close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You've just found a lottery ticket. And not just any ticket. This one's worth $10 million. How would you feel? Excited? Ecstatic? Now, what if I told you there's something far more valuable than that lottery ticket? That something is you. You are the most valuable asset in your life. Not your house, your car, or your bank account. You. And yet, how often do we treat ourselves as such? We invest in stocks, businesses, and real estate, but we forget to invest in the one thing that truly determines our success, ourselves. Let's dive deeper into this concept of time. Every day, life hands you 86,400 seconds. No more, no less. And here's the catch. Whatever you don't use wisely is gone forever. Now let's get real for a second. How many of those seconds do we spend on things that don't matter? Scrolling through social media for hours, comparing our lives to people we don't even know, binge watching Netflix for the third time this week because just one more episode turned into an entire season, worrying about things that, if we're honest, won't even matter a month from now. But here's the thing. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't wait for you to get motivated. It moves forward with or without you. So the question is, how are you spending your time? Now that we've talked about time, let's move on to the thing that dictates how we use it, our mindset. I know everyone and their grandmother talks about mindset. But hear me out, because this isn't just a motivational buzzword. Your mindset is like a pair of glasses. If your glasses are smudged with negativity, fear, and self-doubt, everything you see will look distorted. But if you clean those lenses with positivity, gratitude, and self-belief, the world becomes a place of endless possibilities. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a man who grew up in poverty. He was told he'd never amount to anything. But instead of letting those words define him, he decided to prove everyone wrong. He spent years reading books, learning new skills, and building a business from scratch. Today, that man is a billionaire. His name, Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks. Schultz could have chosen to see himself as a victim of his circumstances, but he didn't. He chose a growth mindset, and that made all the difference. Every time you catch yourself thinking, I can't, replace it with, how can I? Instead of saying, I can't start a business, ask, how can I learn the skills to start a business? Instead of saying, I'll never get fit, ask, how can I create a workout routine that works for me? When you change your questions, you change your life. You know what I love about kids? They're endlessly curious. They ask a million questions, try a million things, and aren't afraid to look silly. Somewhere along the way, most of us lose that curiosity. We settle into routines, get comfortable, and stop learning. But here's the thing. The moment you stop learning is the moment you stop growing. Let me tell you about a man named Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, you can't deny his curiosity. Musk didn't start out knowing how to build rockets. He taught himself by reading books and surrounding himself with experts. Now, SpaceX is sending rockets into space and making history. You don't need to build rockets to embrace lifelong learning. Start small. Read 10 pages of a book every day. Listen to podcasts during your commute. Take an online course in something you've always wanted to learn. Remember, knowledge is the only thing that no one can take away from you. Now let's talk about habits. If your life were a movie, your habits would be the script. And let me tell you something, your script determines your story. Good habits are like compound interest. They don't seem like much at first, but over time, they create massive results. Bad habits, on the other hand, are like credit card debt, easy to ignore until they spiral out of control. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to change too much too fast. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start small. Want to get fit? Start with 10 push-ups a day. Want to save money? Set aside $1 a day. Want to meditate? Begin with 1 minute a day. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Let's talk about failure, the big scary elephant in the room. Most people are terrified of failing, but here's the truth. Failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. Think about every great invention in history. The light bulb, Edison failed over 10,000 times. The airplane, the Wright brothers crashed more times than they succeeded, but they didn't quit. Failure is a teacher. It shows you what doesn't work so you can find what does. You know what makes failure less scary? Humor. The next time you fail, instead of crying into a tub of ice cream, laugh about it. Did you trip in public? Laugh it off and say, well, that's one way to make an entrance. Life is too short to take yourself too seriously. Now let's talk about your inner circle. The people you surround yourself with have a massive impact on your life. If you're hanging out with people who complain all day, guess what? You'll start complaining too. But if you surround yourself with people who are ambitious, positive, and supportive, you'll naturally rise to their level. Take a moment to think about your 5 closest friends. Do they inspire you, challenge you, support your goals? If not, it might be time to make some changes. One of the biggest mistakes people make in self-improvement is waiting for the big win to celebrate. But here's the thing. Big wins are just a series of small wins stacked together. Did you wake up early today? Celebrate. Did you resist the temptation to procrastinate? Celebrate. These small victories build momentum. Let's talk about something truly transformative, something that not only has the power to improve your life, but can also ripple outwards to impact countless others. Today we're diving deep into the joy of giving back. When we hear the phrase giving back, it's easy to think of grand gestures, donating millions to charity, starting a foundation, or volunteering hundreds of hours. But giving back isn't just about massive acts of generosity. It's about everyday kindness, small sacrifices, and sharing what we have, be it time, resources, or even a simple smile. Giving back is one of the most profound ways to grow as a person, find fulfillment, and create meaning in your life. And here's the best part. It doesn't just benefit those on the receiving end. It also changes you in ways you can't imagine. Let's start with a question. What do you truly want out of life? Most people would answer with things like happiness, purpose, or success. But here's the secret that many overlook. The quickest path to fulfillment isn't through taking, it's through giving. The world's greatest thinkers, philosophers, and leaders have all emphasized the power of generosity. Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." And he was right. When we give, we connect with something bigger than ourselves. We step out of our small, self-centered bubbles and experience the beauty of humanity. Did you know that giving is hardwired into our biology? That's right, science backs up what we've always intuitively known. Studies in neuroscience have shown that when we give to others, our brains release feel-good chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. These chemicals reduce stress, increase feelings of happiness, and even improve our physical health. Let's break this down further. Happiness. When you perform an act of kindness, your brain lights up in areas associated with pleasure and reward. It's called the helper's high, and it's real. Reduce stress. Giving back reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. In a world where stress is at an all-time high, giving is a natural antidote, improved health. People who give back regularly through volunteering, for example, tend to live longer, healthier lives. So, if you're looking for a way to boost your mood, reduce anxiety, and even extend your lifespan, start giving. Let's explore the many ways you can give back. Remember, it doesn't have to involve money or resources you don't have. What truly matters is the intention behind the act. Giving your time. Time is one of the most valuable gifts you can give. Whether it's mentoring a younger colleague, volunteering at a local shelter, or simply listening to a friend in need, giving your time shows that you care. Sharing your knowledge. We all have unique skills and experiences. Sharing what you know, whether it's teaching someone how to cook, helping a child with homework, or offering professional advice, can have a ripple effect that lasts a lifetime. Monetary donations. If you're in a position to give financially, even small contributions can make a big difference. But remember, it's not about the amount, it's about the heart behind the gift. Acts of kindness. Sometimes the smallest gestures have the biggest impact. Holding the door open for someone, complimenting a stranger, or offering a kind word costs nothing but can brighten someone's entire day. Creating opportunities. If you're a business owner, consider hiring people from underprivileged backgrounds or supporting community projects. If you're a student, think about starting a study group to help those struggling. Volunteering your talents. Are you good at photography? Offer to take pictures for a nonprofit. Are you great at writing? Help someone create a resume. Your unique talents can be a gift to others. Here's the beautiful thing about giving. It creates a ripple effect. When you help someone, they're more likely to help someone else, and so on. Imagine a pebble dropped into a still lake. The ripples extend outward, touching everything in their path. Let me share a story to illustrate this. Years ago, a young boy named Caleb grew up in a struggling family. One Christmas, a neighbor anonymously left a basket of food and small gifts on their doorstep. That simple act of kindness had a profound impact on Caleb. It inspired him to work hard, rise above his circumstances, and one day pay it forward. Today, Caleb runs a successful nonprofit that provides food and clothing to thousands of families in need. One small act of giving started a chain reaction that changed countless lives. That's the power of the ripple effect. Throughout history, the most revered leaders and change makers have been those who gave back selflessly. Mother Teresa, she dedicated her life to serving the poor and sick, reminding us that even the smallest acts of love can change the world. Oprah Winfrey. Despite her difficult upbringing, Oprah built a media empire and has donated millions to education, healthcare, and disaster relief. Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison, Mandela emerged with a message of forgiveness and worked tirelessly to improve the lives of his people. These individuals didn't wait for perfect circumstances to give back. They gave what they could, where they were, with what they had. When you give, you grow. It's as simple as that. You gain perspective. Giving back reminds you of what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in the rat race of life. But when you see how much even a small act of kindness can mean to someone else, it shifts your priorities. You build gratitude. When you give to those less fortunate, it opens your eyes to the blessings in your own life. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions you can cultivate. It's the key to happiness. You strengthen relationships. Acts of giving deepen your connections with others, whether it's helping a friend in need or volunteering alongside strangers. Giving creates bonds that enrich your life. You discover purpose. Many people go through life feeling lost, wondering what their purpose is. Giving back provides clarity. When you help others, you realize that your life has meaning beyond your own needs and desires. Let's address the elephant in the room, the excuses we all make to avoid giving back. I don't have time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's not about having time, it's about making time. Even 10 minutes can make a difference. I'm not wealthy. Giving isn't about money, it's about effort, intention, and heart. I don't know how to help. Start small. Look around your community, your workplace, or even your own family. Opportunities to give are everywhere. I'm not in a good place myself. Ironically, one of the best ways to lift yourself out of a difficult situation is to focus on helping someone else. It shifts your perspective and fills you with a sense of purpose. Set a giving goal. Decide how you want to give back, whether it's donating a percentage of your income, volunteering a certain number of hours, or performing one act of kindness daily. Get involved locally. Research local charities, shelters, or community organizations. Often, they're in desperate need of volunteers. Start a personal project. Identify a cause you're passionate about and take the initiative to address it. It could be as simple as organizing a neighborhood cleanup or starting a book drive. Teach your kids about giving. If you have children, involve them in acts of generosity. Teaching kids to give back instills values that will last a lifetime. Join a community. Find like-minded individuals who share your passion for giving back. Working together amplifies your impact. Let's take a moment to celebrate the unsung heroes, ordinary people, doing extraordinary things through acts of giving. A school teacher who spends her weekends tutoring underprivileged kids for free. A retired man who drives cancer patients to their treatments every week. A single mom who organizes clothing, drives in her community despite her own struggles. These individuals may not make headlines, but their acts of kindness are changing lives. When we give, we create a legacy that outlives us. Think about the impact you want to leave behind. What stories will people tell about you? What lives will you have touched? Giving back ensures that your life matters, not just to you, but to others. Ladies and gentlemen, self-improvement is not a destination. It's a journey. And like any journey, it starts with a single step. So spend time making yourself better. Because when you do, you don't just change your life, you change the world. Now go out there and make it happen. Thank you.